Rachel. Welcome to my channel. To start this video, I think it's important to recognize that every individual on the autism spectrum is unique and experiences their autism in different ways. In my autism series, I would like to do an autism book discussion to learn what resonates with me as an autistic individual, and by sharing it on YouTube, I hope to learn about what resonates with you or a loved one who is on the spectrum. This experiment will supplement my work with my therapist, and I hope it will build on my current knowledge of autism as an autistic individual. The first book that I would like to discuss on this channel is called Sensory Perceptual Issues in Autism and Asperger's Syndrome by Olga Bogdashina. It looks like this. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to go through all of the book today, but I just wanted to start discussing some of the topics that they discuss in the first couple chapters, and just kind of talk about, like, quote some of the things they mention and kind of discuss some of the things that that resonates to me, and it may resonate with you as well, and just have a conversation about it. Okay, so the first chapter talks about sensory processing, and the main quote that I found goes like this. All features of autism, social interaction impairments, language and communication problems, cognitive functioning, repetitive behaviors, etc., can be seen as rooted in sensory overload perception by autistic individuals. Autistic individuals perceive, feel, and remember too much. Faced with a bombarding, confusing, baffling, and often painful environment, autistic individuals withdraw into their own world by shutting down their sensory systems. Sensory overload causes autistic individuals to withdraw and miss the opportunity to develop a shared conceptual understanding of the world. So when I read that quote, to me, that I find very true. Basically, when I experience experiences in my life, everything is of equal intensity, and it becomes really overwhelming, and my body kind of goes into overload. And basically I go into shutdown, and go into my own world. And I've done that in so many different scenarios. Romantically, with something as simple as working in a new environment, you know, the transition from school to doing a job, things like that. What about you guys? In the comment section, let me know what sort of experiences you've had where you are so overwhelmed by everything that you just go into sensory overload. Okay, so the next chapter, they discuss perception, and their definition of perception is Everything we know about the world and ourselves has come through our senses. All our knowledge, therefore, is the product of what we have seen, heard, smelt, etc. The process by which an organism collects, interprets, and comprehends information from the outside world by means of senses is called perception. Anyways, that's kind of an introduction to the next things they mention. The next quote that really stood out to me was they were giving a young boy as an example, and it goes, he could reach the visual meaning if he touched the objects, that is, using his tactile system. He could see with his ears, nose, or hands much better than with his eyes. He had to learn to connect visual experiences with meaning. Okay, so for me, this is very much what I experienced as a young child. I had a very hard time, like at the dinner table, I have a sister who's 2 years older than me, and when it was just us for the first 5 years of my life, I had a very hard time starting conversation when she was a very talkative child, and she talked so fast that it was so overwhelming that I could see her mouth moving so much quicker than I could really process, and it was so overwhelming, the intensity of, hearing her say words, trying to understand the meaning of the words, especially if she made a joke, because I had a hard time understanding jokes. And then following my parents with my eyes to get their reaction to what she would say, and then what they would say in response. So it was constant trying to catch up with everyone else, to make sense of the conversation just with my eyes in particular, because like for instance, if I were to had met someone and they would say, "Oh, hi, my name is Catherine. What is your name?" I would barely remember their name. I mean, I know that's very common. I shouldn't use that as an example. But I was so in shock of absorbing all of my senses that were going on at the time, that to me it almost felt like I wasn't introducing myself. It was like, I mainly remember like doing the handshakes and following the gestures, and like I eventually learned a script of what to say to go through that situation, but I never felt like I was authentically meeting someone for the first time. So I always felt very disconnected from people and kind of scared, because that's kind of nerve-wracking to not really understand what is going on. Anyways, chapter 3 is possible sensory experiences in autism. And the first thing they mention is literal perception. And of course, I'm sure most of us know that literal perception is a very common theme in autism, and that autistic individuals seem to perceive everything as it is. And so for me, if someone is sarcastic or makes a joke, I take it very literally. So as I've gotten older and have learned over time, that what I have to rethink how they might be thinking. Like I have to put my feet into their shoes and kind of try to understand where they're coming from. And unfortunately, I'm not usually able to do it very fast. So I usually have a delayed reaction to their comment, because I just take everything very literally. Yep. Another thing that this chapter mentions is change and routine. It is common knowledge that autistic individuals do not like changes, and they do like routines. For them to recognize things, they must be exactly the same as they have already experienced. Only then will they know what to do with them. For me, I don't feel this quite as intensely as maybe some others do. I definitely do not like change, and I do like routine. That is very true, but I think that from what they're saying, for them to recognize things, they must be exactly the same as they have already experienced. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, sometimes it is, but I think I've learned as I've gotten older to try to fit in with expectations. So I guess that's part of my being a woman on the spectrum, that I try to mask maybe things that I struggle with, and so I try to make myself more able to handle situations than how I really feel. And another interesting thing that they said is that autistic individuals actually have much more trouble with slight changes than with big ones. And you know what? I definitely agree with that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, because like with work, for instance, if there's a slight change in plans of what I have to do for the day, I shut down. Like I have to step back and really rethink what I'm doing and try to calm myself down and take a break and try to wrap my head around what I have to do next when I get back to working at my desk. And so I find it interesting that that's what they say. As I said, let me know what you think about that. Anyways, for the moment, those are the first things that I read in the book that I wanted to bring up. I don't want to make this video too long, but let me know in the comments below what other books you would like me to discuss in the future. This is just one that I had found on Amazon over the last couple of years, and I don't know, I found it to be quite helpful, but I'm open to any suggestions. I keep forgetting to look at where the camera is, like right there. I keep looking to the side. Anyways, my hair. Yeah, I hope this was helpful for you in some way, and yeah, let me know in the comments, like, what your thoughts are on all of these concepts. Yeah, I hope you enjoy or have enjoyed watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.